Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'll read the parties.
Okay, I believe we're ready to begin. This
Yes.
is 2011 EM 506173, Ms. Lindsay Johnson, Mr. Raul Mendez. So like this is a suit for modification and confirmation of arrears. Is that right, Mr. Caballero?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Mendez, Ms. Johnson, I believe you'll both be testifying in a few moments. Ms. Johnson, you're muted. We can't hear you. But I need to swear both of you in to testify.
Okay, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, do each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you both. Okay, we have Mr. Caballero from the Attorney General's office. He will have questions for each of you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. And just to begin, I'd ask the court take judicial notice of the prior order in this case. It is a order establishing the parent-child relationship, which was signed by the court on October 16th of 2012.
Okay, court takes judicial notice of the prior order.
And I'd also ask the court take judicial notice of the prior pleading that is currently on file by the Office of the Attorney General, the suit for modification of support order and motion to confirm support arrearage. This was filed on December 12th of 2022.
Okay, court takes judicial notice of the pending pleadings.
And one last thing, I have what's pre-marked as State's Exhibit A. This is a financial activity report. It shows the payment history on this case. It's an updated financial activity report based off of the pleading. So I offer what's been pre-marked as State's Exhibit A into evidence.
Okay, Stacy, Exhibit A will be admitted. Can you give me the numbers? It's kind of small. I can't see.
Yes,
it.
Your Honor. There is a small agreement regarding the numbers, so they may change. And so I want to be able to discuss that potential agreement with the court and go from there based
Okay.
off of possession credits and things like that.
Okay, what about the medical?
The parties had agreed that the child support arrears with credits for possession would be $5,830.93 as of April 9th of 2023.
Okay,
And then the medical support arrears balance would be $3,359.97 as of April 9th of 2023.
okay. Any agreement on payback?
I believe there was an agreement on the medical support payback in the amount of $25 a month.
Okay,
Nothing regarding the child support payback amount at this time.
okay, we'll address that later then.
Yes, and I'll adjust that later with the pleading with the remaining issues.
Okay, if I haven't done so, State's Exhibit A, the financial record, would be admitted into evidence, subject to further testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. I first call Mr. Mendez.
Yep.
Mr. Mendez, first I'm going to start on the top with all of our issues and kind of work through it with the court, okay? And I'll ask Ms. Johnson very similar or to the same questions, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Mendez, can you please state your full name for the record?
It's Raul Rodriguez Mendez Jr.,
And what is the name of the child before the court?
Christopher Durden Mendez,
How old is Christopher?
16.
Who does Christopher currently live with?
With me, my current residence, the one that's established.
Now, Mr. Mendez, regarding the information being in a court order today, where you live, where you work, your social security number, telephone number, things like that, would you suffer any type of harm, harassment, or abuse if Ms. Johnson had access to that information through a court order today?
Yes.
Why specifically Ms. Johnson?
Specifically, it's not specifically on me. It's just it's an issue with everybody. Like I don't know. I can't. I'm not. she makes decisions to be with certain individuals where those certain individuals have access to like getting like your email and like just making like loans and name, like getting stuff off of your name. And that's why I don't want access to it or her to have access to anything from me.
Has there been any family violence between you two in the past 2 years?
Past 2 years, no.
Has there been family violence in the past between you two prior to the 2 years?
Prior to 2 years?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I can, I don't remember, in like 2005, I think it was, or 6. I don't remember the year.
Have you all been able to be in communication regarding the child recently with Christopher in the past 6 months or so?
She came and she was wanting to talk to him or whatever, and she thought that I was telling him not to go with her. She called SAPD. 2 officers came. One officer was outside with her. One officer came inside with me, and the other officer
That's a
spoke
lie.
with.
Ms.
The
Johnson,
cop stayed
Ms.
outside.
Johnson, let him finish, please, and then we'll hear from you. Go ahead, Mr.
You can continue, Mr. Mendez.
The other officer came inside to my house with me, talked to my son, and the officer, my son told him, my son is here with me right now, told him that he doesn't want to, he did not want to go with her, he didn't want to see her. And she hasn't been here, and she hasn't heard from him, she hasn't seen him, and he hasn't heard from her in any kind of way.
Mr. Mendez, why was Miss Johnson, why did she show up to, I guess, get Christopher back in her possession? Was it to get Christopher back in her possession, or why did she show up to your house that night?
No, she said that she just wanted to see him or for him to go with her or whatever, but he didn't want to go with her. That's what she said. I don't know.
And when did that incident occur?
I don't remember the exact date. I mean, I can try to call like the SAPD or like I have to go to the where I went for the form for the first time for the incident report that was filed on her for the date was 1/11/2021.
Okay, so this was,
I would have to go there to find out like the date of it and like to get the report from them, like, you know what I mean?
so this was about 2 years ago.
What do you mean? No, when it happened?
Yes.
About that? No, no, it just recently happened. It just when the 2 officers were here.
And so if it
was,
recently happened, what day did it recently happen?
What day did it happen? I don't know. I would have to see. Like, I can't give you an exact date because I don't remember the exact date.
So
it was before.
Was it within?
Yeah. My son says he thinks it was before Thanksgiving.
Your Honor, could I ask that if the child subject to the suit is in the same room with Mr. Mendez, that he be removed from the same room?
Mr. Mendez.
Go there. Go to your room. Go there.
Mr. Mendez, we need your testimony, not your son's. So would you
I'm
ask?
sorry, sir. No, he was just here. He was just in here. I didn't know if he had to be here. Okay, sir. I'm ready.
Ask him to go to another room, please.
Yeah, I sent him to his room. I'm alone. I'm in the garage. I'm by myself.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Caballero.
Okay. So, Mr. Mendez, you're on your telephone, so I'm going to share my screen with the court for a moment so everyone else can see. But the financial activity report shows that you're currently in child support arrears, and you've agreed to do the possession credits as of January of 2021, that you've had possession of Christopher since that time. Is that correct?
May I speak to that? That is correct, but the only reason because I agreed to that, and the reason for agreeing to that is so that way she can be happy on whatever life she wants to state. But the true fact is, on August 14, 2019, he came with me. So, I mean, I don't know. I had
have
faith in
pictures.
that.
I have pictures and physical
Hold on, Ms.
evidence
Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, we will get to you in a moment, ma'am. Okay?
So, Mr. Mendez, how did Christopher end up in your possession?
He came to me.
How?
Miss Johnson brought him, and then I don't know, like a couple weeks later, she dropped off his stuff in front of the garage.
Was there an agreement that was made between you two regarding Christopher coming to stay with
I
you?
didn't talk to. He came. He came. Was there an agreement? Yes, about the school, about picking him up, taking him like wherever he needed to go, like everything. Yes, there was an agreement, a verbal agreement about that.
So what time was there not an agreement? Has there ever been a time where Miss Johnson has wanted Christopher back in her possession?
She says that, but I mean, she can say whatever. Like I told the child support officer when I talked to Miss Cassandra, she's more than welcome to come with me or Christopher. My home do not have a restraining order on her. Any day he goes to school from 8 to 1. I mean, by 1 o'clock he's home, and from 1 o'clock, I'm at work all day. I don't get home till like 7 o'clock, sometimes 6:30. So she can come and ring the doorbell anytime she wants, any day, Monday through Sunday. On Saturday and Sunday, I'm here all day.
How
But,
often has Miss Johnson requested to reach out to have Christopher back in her possession?
I don't know. I mean, she's never came over here. She never said anything. When she came in the officers, when she called the officers, she didn't request, like she didn't want him. She just wanted to see him. And then like he was the one that told the officer that he didn't want to see her.
Why does Christopher not want to see her?
He told the officer that he didn't want to be with her anymore because she's always being with men that hit him, that pushed his head against the wall, against in the sheetrock. There was a CPS involvement in 2018 where she was with Christopher O'Keefe, where he hit him. He pushed him. Like that's on file. That's a record. That's on fact. But I don't know.
So is this person still in Miss Johnson's life?
I don't know. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him or her. I don't know.
And Mr. Mendez, you said you're currently working right now?
Yes, I was fired from my job. I'm doing labor. It's construction labor. We get paid weekly, cash. I'm making payments through for the child support office on the south side. Doing postal money orders. I get paid and I go to HEB and I get a postal money order from there, and I take the postal money order to the child support office and I turn it into them, so like everything can be recorded or whatever.
How much do you get paid per day at this job?
It's only $100 a day. Like I told the gentleman that I spoke with at the child support office because like these past couple of days when it rained for 2 days, I couldn't go to work. I can only go to work like when it's not raining, or the weather's not bad, I guess, or not drivable or workable, I guess you could say.
Do you work overtime to make up for those days?
It's only $100. It's only $100 a day. It's only $100 a day. So the amount for the week, I can't state an amount for the week because it depends on the week and the weather.
Your Honor, hold on one moment. Ms. Johnson, could you please put out the cigarette, please? We are in a virtual courtroom. And Mr. Mendez, do you have any private health insurance available for Christopher through either your odd jobs or anything like that?
No, she has him enrolled into Medicaid. I'm not even able to get a Social Security or a birth certificate. I went to the the City of San Antonio Office of City of Clerk Vital Records Division. They told me that they can't give me his birth certificate or social because the court hasn't changed and the state hasn't changed me to custodial parent. That they're needing that to happen, and they're also needing sole managing conservatorship.
Mr. Mendez, the question was, do you have insurance available? Your answer is no.
Oh, no. I'm not paying anything for him. He's on Medicaid. Yes.
Okay.
No,
that answers the question. Thank you. Next question.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mendez, are you in agreement to continue paying the $25 a month reimbursement for Ms. Johnson to continue to provide Christopher on a government medical plan?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
All the payment process or whatever, it would be child support. When I talk after I get off with you, I'm gonna go to the office, and they're gonna tell me everything, and how to do everything, how everything works out
Okay. With
with Miss Cassandra.
with regards to any other requests to the court regarding current child support, things like that, the state had calculated, or let me ask you this, Mr. Mendez, do you have any other children besides Christopher?
Yes, sir.
How many other children do you have?
2.
Do they live with you?
No, sir.
Are you court ordered to provide child support for those 2?
Back pay for my oldest, he's 19, but not child support. It's back pay, and child support only for my youngest.
Okay. So you said your older one has your older one already emancipated then? He's out of high school?
Yeah, he's already out of high school. He lives with his girlfriend, or his fiance, I should say, his fiance.
So 1 child before the court and 1 other child, the state had calculated that child support would be in the amount of $306 based off of the guideline amount, as Ms. Johnson's currently designated as the primary conservator. Are you in agreement with the state's calculation with that amount for child support for you to be ordered to pay today?
Well, for me to pay something today, I
Yes.
don't have any money to pay today. I don't have any money. It's Monday.
Okay. What is your request regarding the child support to be ordered today in this case?
What do you mean? For me to pay something, or I don't understand the question. Like, what do you mean?
Yes. What is your request regarding the current child support? Because the way it's asked right now, what the pleading on file does not have any change of status. It still describes Miss Johnson as the custodial parent, and you would be the possessory conservator in this case. So what is your request regarding the current child support to be ordered?
I mean, I just so I can get his birth certificate and his social. I mean, I'm just needing it for his primary doctor, for his medical. Like, I'm needing it because it's on her name. You know what I'm saying? His Medicaid and all that is on her name. I can't get his. I can't. It's for his medical, his school. Like, that's like the main thing. Like, I don't know.
Mr. Mendez, would you consider letting Christopher move back in with Miss Johnson primarily from this point forward?
That's his decision.
No, it's not, Mr. Mendes. It's not his
Oh,
decision. He's 16 years old.
No, I mean, no, I don't. I mean, no, he can't go back. I mean, no.
What other requests do you
Okay.
have that the court should consider, Mr. Mendez?
I mean, just did. I mean, I don't want to be able to have communication. I don't want any kind of communication further. Like I said, I go to work in the morning. I don't come home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. She's more than welcome after his school Monday to Friday, 1 through 6, to come ring the doorbell and ask for him, talk to him through the glass, talk to him through the window, however they want to do it.
So she can see him, but she can't take him with her?
I mean, not to live,
Why?
because like of the men that have been hitting him. No.
So this is a safety concern for you.
Yes.
Any other, no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Caballero, what is the current child support? I couldn't tell from the financial record.
Your Honor, the current child support is $75 a month.
And is Ms. Johnson a joint managed conservator or a primary or
Let
a
me
sole manager?
let me share my screen with the court. There is
Okay.
some unique language in this order.
Yeah, let me see that.
So it shows that Ms. Johnson is the managing conservator and Mr. Mendez is a possessory conservator of the child. However, there's a finding at the top here that shows that the court further finds that awarding obligor certain conservator rights is not in the best interest of the child. This second paragraph here.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, scroll back down again, right there. Okay, it's Miss. Okay, I couldn't read the writing. It's Miss Johnson. Okay, thank you, sir. Next witness.
I call Ms. Johnson. Ms. Johnson, I'm going to start from the top, asking very similar to same questions that I asked Mr. Mendez, okay? First and foremost, Ms. Johnson, can you please state your full name for the record?
Lindsay Ray Johnson,
And what is the name of the child before the court?
Christopher Draven Mendez,
How old is Christopher?
16.
Now, Ms. Johnson, if your information were in a court order today, where you live, where you work, your telephone number, social security number, things like that, would you feel subject to any type of harm, harassment, or abuse if Mr. Mendez had access to that information?
Just my address. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. And why is that?
Because he likes to come unannounced to the place of residence.
And how often has that happened?
In the beginning of the whole agreement, I told him that I was not staying at the place that I was at, and he just would pop up out of nowhere. And that happened like twice.
So, Ms. Johnson, the prior order, I'm going to share my screen again. The prior order did have the court order non-disclosure as to your information at that time. Are you wishing that that would be continued in this case?
Yes, sir.
Now, where is Christopher currently living, Ms. Johnson?
He's staying with his dad.
How long has Christopher been staying with his dad?
It was at least 2001. So 2001, 22, 23.
Do you mean
So-
2021?
Yes, 2021. So he's been staying there 3 to 4 years. I mean, 2 to 3 years, my bad.
Why did Christopher go to stay with his dad?
Because I got financially taken care. I couldn't financially take care of myself, and I was homeless. I was living with somebody else, and I couldn't afford him to stay with me. Since Raul got out of prison, he was been asking me for, oh, I can take care of you. If you need help, I can help out. So I started having my seizures started getting bad. So we agreed that he was supposed to stay there for a week at his dad's house and a week with me. And then through the chaos of everything, miscommunication, cut all ties, belligerent, every time we would talk, the contact stopped.
Have you been in contact with Mr. Mendez since January, or I guess was it January of 2021? Excuse me.
Yes. And no, here, not every day, but no. There is one time I went to Christmas, on Christmas a couple of years back, and he put his hands on me when I was just trying to see Draven. I came with his sister Aries, and we tried to go pick him up or see him something, and he didn't want me to. Raul Mendez put his hands on me. I didn't call the cops, so I left. After seeing, he allowed me to see Draven for like 20 minutes, and then after that we left.
So the agreement was week on, week off back in January of 2021.
Yes.
You mentioned that through all the chaos and miscommunication, what happened that would keep that Christopher would stay with Mr. Mendez from that point on instead of following
again, it was because I didn't he would cut the ties. He wouldn't let me talk to Draven. The school wouldn't call me. He just cut all ties. He would change his number every time I would have his number. He would change his number, so there was no way of any kind of contact at all with him. If I even could.
I have stated before the court that you would be in agreement to give possession credits for the child support arrears going back to January of 2021, and that judgment be in the amount of $5,830.93, giving those possession credits. Are you still in agreement with that?
Yes, I am.
The medical support arrears balance was also $3,359.97 as of yesterday, with payment being $25 a month on those arrears. Are you in agreement with that judgment being taken on the medical support side?
Yes, sir.
How often have you asked Mr. Mendez to get Christopher back in your possession?
Um, as much as I can. Christmas, like I said, Christmas, and then the one recently, it was this year. It was not before Thanksgiving. It was this year. Um, oh no, wait, we just got into this year. My bad. It was, yes, it was Thanksgiving last year. My bad. Yes,
So
I'm
Thanksgiving
sorry.
of 2021, 2022, excuse me, was the last
Yes.
time you attempted to get
Yes,
Christopher.
yes, and cops was called that time. They only spoke to me. They didn't speak to Draven. They just spoke to me and they just waited till I left. And then after I left, they left. They didn't,
Mr. Mendez stated that the reason Christopher would be staying with him is because of I guess an ex-boyfriend or a boyfriend of yours, that there was someone in the home.
before, yes, in 2008, came out of prison. Yes, I did got in with a boyfriend. He got on a protective order and whatever. When he got out, he stayed. Raul Mendez stayed with me and made sure everything was good. After everything, he stayed. Christopher Mendez continued to stay with me even till 2001, until Draven went to his dad. 21, yeah, January of July of 2001.
Has Christopher
2021.
talked to you about his living situation and what he would like?
He hasn't able. He all contact. The last time I talked to him, he was talking to me through a Wi-Fi text me app. And all he wanted to do was like, Mom, I miss you. I want to see you. I want to see you. He even was wanting to see wanted to see other people, and he was like, I miss you. And then after like a week of talking to Draven, Christopher, the contact stopped. After I was
When was
calling,
that? When was that? That contact with
again, it was 2002, around 2022 of last year. And it was maybe so it was after that incident with the cops. So it was like December of the last year, maybe around there.
Again, Mr. Mendez has stated that it's a safety concern for him to have Christopher placed back in your possession. Are there
Well,
still people who lives with you in your home?
it's just me. When I went to go see him, I even told him I didn't have a boyfriend, and in that this and that and that and that. But at the same time, how would he even know there's a safety when he doesn't have no contact? Raul doesn't even try. Like I tried when he got out of jail and his grandfather was alive. His grandfather called me and asked me to help. He was like, look, he's in jail. Help me. And then when he gets out of jail, contact was cut again.
Miss Johnson,
There was nothing. So
has a ex-boyfriend or a significant other assaulted Christopher in the past, as what Mr. Mendez had stated?
just the incident that was that he mentioned, the 2018. Yes, if you pull up the case, and stuff like that. But ever since then nothing has happened
How
or
involved
gone
is
like
that
that.
person in your life currently?
No, he's in prison. He's in jail. The case is already closed and everything.
How long is that person going to be in jail?
I want to say like he got like 7 to 10 years or something like that on the case.
Now, the state had calculated that child support would be in the amount of $306, which includes a $25 medical support reimbursement for you providing the health insurance through a government medical plan. Are you in agreement with the state's calculation on the child support? Ms. Johnson?
Yes, sir. I said yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Mendez had requested that no child support be set because he has possession of the child Christopher in this case. What is your I guess response to that?
I'm good with no child support. Like I just want to see my son. I want to be able to see my son. I want to get mandatory drop-offs so that we don't have to have through the courts, so we don't have to have that communication with each other. He needs to allow me to see my son. This is the whole purpose of this whole court. And then the whole reason why I don't go to the place is because all the times that I've been to his place, he put his hands on me or threatens to pour liquid or something.
Ms.
I just
Johnson,
want to see my son.
the prior order, did it order visitation?
Yes.
What was the visitation ordered in the prior order?
The only on the agreement when he started staying with my son, when my son started staying with his dad, the agreement was supposed to be a week on, week off. And I was able to see my son. Then there was no communication, and then there was no agreement on seeing him. There was no communication. No communication.
But this was after Mr. Mendez was released from prison.
Yes. When Draven started seeing, and Draven, when he was staying with me, he would go to his dad's every weekend, and there was no problems. There was no problems then. The communication, actually, I don't understand why he wanted to not let me see my son, because he would pick up his son. I would be like, yeah. And there was time, maybe weeks at a time, especially on holidays. Like, I don't understand. His grandfather or grandmother would pick Draven up, and they will have their weekend. He gets dropped off.
Okay.
So
Ms.
there was-
Johnson, one last question. I don't want to belabor the points too much. The communication between you and Mr. Mendez, are you requesting the court to order any type of app close communication?
Yes, because I would like to have communication. If he doesn't want me to know his number or anything, then let me have something court ordered for me to talk to my son, on a daily. So my son
Your Honor,
can be
I do
able
want
to talk to me.
Hold on, Ms. Johnson. Your Honor, I do want to let the court know that there is no pleading on file regarding visitation or, I guess, communication
Modifying.
regarding the child and the parents. The prior order did have visitation set. I can share my screen for the court,
Yeah, let me see
but
this.
it was a limited visitation as to, I believe, Mr. Mendez was
Saturday,
incarcerated at the time that this order was set in place.
So Mr. Mendez had the visitation right on the first Saturday of each month for 2 hours from 12 to 2. Supervised. Okay.
I know it's been 10 years plus since the prior order was put in place, Your Honor.
There's no modification of that order.
But there's been no modification as to the visitation language.
What was that order, signed? You told me 2012.
It was signed October 16th, 2012.
Okay,
Mr. Mendez was defaulted on that order.
okay,
The reason why it was like that was because at that time he assaulted me, and there was a police order against him, and I had a protective order also too against Raul Mendez. And I was worried. I didn't want child support. I told the guy I wanted zero.
Johnson, let me ask you, Christopher's school, are y'all in the same, are you and Mr. Mendez in the same school district?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
So he is going to a school in Mr. Mendez's district.
Yes,
And what do they have, about 7 or 8 weeks left?
yes.
Okay,
I'm willing to work if it is a better way for my son to stay with his dad, that's fine. I just want to see my son. I don't think that it was fair of Raul Mendez to cut all ties with everything and then try to export me for money. Like I took care of him for 14 years while you're locked up, like.
okay, Ms. Johnson. Well, that decision was already made in the prior case that you had that was signed in 2012. Okay. Ms. Johnson, would you be able to get Christopher to school each day?
Yes.
Do you-
Well, if he starts living with me, I can have a bus pick him up from school and everything.
The same school he's going to now?
No, I will have to register him at a different school.
Okay. Now, do you work now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are your hours?
My hours are between 10 to 4.
Okay. And both you and Mr. Mendez live in San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Having heard from everybody and read the prior order, this is where we stand at this point. Ms. Johnson, in the prior order, Mr. Mendez had sole custody of this child. You had very limited visitation rights. Nobody has requested that the court change that at all. In order to change custody, you got to file a request to modify conservatorship with the court and have a hearing on it. No one has ever done that. So Ms. Johnson has every right to have Christopher returned to her immediately. As long as she is the managed conservator, she gets to decide where the child lives. I can't change that. That's just state law. And until something is filed requesting that change, then we have to go with the prior order. So I'm going to modify child support to $306 a month. Medical support $25, both begin May 1st, 2023. I will honor the parties' agreement to give possession credit to Mr. Mendez. So the arrears will be $5,830.93 as of yesterday, payable at $75 a month, Mr. Caballero. Medical support, $3,359.97 as of April 9th, payable at $25 a month. I will grant a non-disclosure for Ms. Johnson. Mr. Mendez, she has every right to get Christopher back whenever she wants him. Okay? Are you there, sir?
And
Mr.
Your
Mendez,
Honor,
are you
Your Honor, the determination of the non-disclosure for Mr. Mendez in this case.
Well, he had no grounds except he didn't want it.
Hello?
Mr.
Yes.
Mendez,
Hello?
did you
Okay,
hear?
I was
my
muted.
orders?
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, I heard you, but I was saying, yes, sir. Okay,
Okay.
can you ask me the question again, please?
What's that?
What was I? What happened? Or I mean, I heard what you were saying, but the question I'm asking, if you asked me a question, right?
I want to make sure you understood that Ms. Johnson is the parent with the control over Christopher. You are not.
Okay.
She has every
Okay.
right to take this child whenever she wants him. So, Ms. Johnson, whatever you want to go get him, that's fine. The child has no say-so. He doesn't get to make decisions because he is still a minor. So, Mr. Mendez, if you want full custody of this child, you need to file the appropriate legal proceedings, set a hearing in court, and that will be decided by the judge, whoever that judge is. But that will be the order of the court. And Ms. Johnson, whenever you want to go get him, it's up to you. So I'd take a copy of your order with you, showing you have that right. Anything else, Mr. Caballero?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, court cost as billed. Thank you all. That'll conclude this hearing.
Okay, we will email both of you a copy of this order to your email. Right now, the session. Mr. Mendez, you can simply hang up. Ms. Johnson, on yours, look for the end button and then leave meeting. You'll be off of Zoom. Thank you all and have a good day.